Alrighty, folks, we got a new release review for you today. That is Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes live at the Greek. We got the posters in there. So this is the remastered, expanded edition. It was originally a double album released, and this looks like a replication of a handbill. Very cool. It says the album was originally released in 2000 as a double album, so this is a triple album. This has 36 tracks as opposed to the original, which had 18 tracks. The Japanese version had 2 extra songs on it, In the Light and Misty Mountain Hop. Those are also on here. And then the musicmaker.com version had You Shook Me and Shake Your Money Maker. I've looked up musicmaker.com. I don't know what that is. One search said that the domain name was for sale. Another search, it looked like it was a place where you go online and record music, like from your house. So I don't know what musicmaker.com is. Maybe it used to be something and it's no longer around anymore. You also get 5 studio sound checks on here. Custard Pie, You Shook Me, The Lemon Song, 10 Years Gone, and then a jam. That's at the end of CD3. And then it also has the Black Crowes songs, No Speak, No Slave, Hard to Handle, Wiser Time, Remedy, and She Talks to Angels. Those were recorded when this was back in 1999. But they weren't allowed to put Black Crowes songs on it because of contractual obligations. And then you also get the Wanton song, Hot Song for Nowhere, and Bring It On Home, which weren't released anywhere before, along with those sound check songs. So a little background on this. Jimmy Page was really into the Black Crowes. He thought they were a great band. I think he went and saw them in England or something. And he was really impressed with them. He met the band. He really liked them. I think they may have even played together, like a charity show or something. And then this came about. Jimmy Page didn't really want to do it, but he got talked into it. He was finally convinced it was a good idea. I think they played together. I think he was on board for the one-off show. I think there was 2 nights. He was on board for that, but he wasn't really up for a tour. But then, after seeing how receptive the audience was to the 2 shows, he was convinced to go out on tour with them. And I actually had tickets for that tour. I still have my ticket stubs for it somewhere. And at the time, I remember hearing that Jimmy Page had fallen off the stage and broke his leg or something like that. This was, internet was not widely spread in 2000. So rumors like that came around. And then, of course, later on we found out I think it was his back. Then still later on we find out that, yes, he was having back issues, but they weren't bothering him that badly. What caused the tour to come to an abrupt end after only maybe 2 weeks worth of dates, not very many shows, and there was a lot of shows booked, like 60 shows, was that he had offered his services to Rich Robinson. Said, hey, if you want to sit down and write a song together, maybe I could play on it, maybe I could produce it for you guys, and we could put it on your next album. And Rich Robinson told him, nah, that's all right. We got plenty of songs. We don't need any songs. We don't need any help with any song. So this really perturbed Jimmy Page, and rightly so. I mean, the guy's a legend. The Black Crowes are not as popular as they once were at this point. I mean, Shake Your Money Maker had sold 5 million copies. Southern Harmony had sold 2 million copies. And then Amorica had gone gold. And then Three Snakes and One Charm didn't certify. By Your Side didn't certify. And so this is where they're at. They're working on Lions, which also did not certify. So Jimmy Page was like, all right, well, if my help's not appreciated, then I'll see you guys later. And he said his back was hurting and took off. And that was that. And since then, of course, too, Chris Robinson has also come out and said, oh, I wasn't a big fan of doing this. This was just a job to me. I've never been a fan of Robert Plant's lyrics. So, but obviously, they know where the bread is buttered. Because since Amorica, which, what year was that? I mean, mid-90s? 94? The only 2 gold albums the Black Crowes have been this one, and then Freakers Ball, the other live one that was released in 2006. None of their studio albums have gone gold, so they probably could have used Jimmy Page's help. What about the reissue, remaster? After all that drama, it sounds awesome. It was a great album when it was released in 2000, and it sounds even better now. The band's on fire. Everybody's on fire. Everybody sounds great. It all sounds killer. It sounds even better than it did before. If you're a Black Crowes fan, I want to give this a 10 out of 10. Look, there's even a picture here. Can I get it? Can I find it? Right there. Maybe the only picture in known history where Rich Robinson has a smile on his face. I would like to give this a 10 out of 10 because the music is a 10 out of 10. But these crappy sleeves where the CDs just slide in them are the worst. Now, I will say that this one is put together better. It at least has little finger holes for you. This one is put together better. And the CDs are all done differently too, which is a nice little extra touch. This one is better than when they re-released Shake Your Money Maker. Those were in there so tight and it was so poorly made that I actually tore mine trying to get the CDs out of them. It was ridiculous. These are a lot more functional than that, but they're still pretty terrible. And there's no little booklet to go with it either, but it is what it is. You at least got this cool little handbill. So yeah, it's a 9.5 out of 10, easy. I mean, if you like the Black Crowes, if you like Led Zeppelin, there's no reason you wouldn't like this. It's stellar, sounds great. Alrighty. Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes live at the Greek. 25th anniversary reissue. 9.5 out of 10. Alright, you guys have a good one.